Welcome to the Fantasy Clinic, everybody. I'm the Fantasy Doctor, and today I'm going to be prescribing you guys all the best moves to make in your fantasy lineups, in your fantasy leagues, so you can have the bragging rights over your friends or win that sweet, sweet cash if you're playing in cash leagues. So to be successful in a fantasy league, you gotta work the stock market of the players. You gotta understand that some players, their value will rise as the season goes along, and some players, their value will decline as the season goes on. And you just gotta work the stock market just like a stockbroker, but with the players, and that's the key to success in a fantasy league. After the Cavs, Rockets, Pacers, Nets trade, the big value hit is going to be coming up on all the big three Brooklyn Nets players: Kyrie, James Harden, Kevin Durant. I think the biggest hit is going to be James Harden, however. And also Andre Drummond. He's now on a team with like 4 or 5 centers on there, and his numbers are definitely going to decline. Right now he's like a top 3-4 fantasy producer, but he's going to be going down maybe in the 20th rank-ish area. So definitely these two guys are guys that you guys want to trade, as well as the big three of Brooklyn Nets in general. However, I would say I would lean towards keeping Kevin Durant still. I still don't think his value will decline as much, since he's going to be playing a lot of small ball center and getting a lot of the rebounds. But nonetheless, his value is also most likely going to decline somewhat as the year goes on. But maybe hold on to him. His value has a potential of rising, and you might be able to get a bit more out of him if you wait a little longer to trade him. However, Harden and Drummond, both these guys, trade them away right now and you'll get the best value for them, especially Andre Drummond. Trade him away right now. And then over here I've listed some trade targets which are somewhat realistic, I believe at least. LeBron James, Damian Lillard, Julius Randle, Nikola Vucevic, and Zach LaVine. All these guys are excellent trades for these two players, and I would take them in a heartbeat. Try offering them to your competitors, and they'll definitely be intrigued by these trades for sure. Just if you weren't convinced from this little bit that you should trade Andre Drummond, let me show you another clip here of why you should definitely trade this guy. This guy is gonna definitely decrease in value. Look at this.
A game, with the exception of his rookie year, has claimed a dozen tonight to go along with 15 points. I'm not sure what Drummond was trying to do there.
And if that wasn't enough, guess what? While making this video, I searched up Andre Drummond, and this man has a nose ring. If you don't believe me here, I'm gonna zoom up the picture right now and you can see his nose ring. Hopefully it shows up properly in the video. But yeah, this man, he needs to be traded ASAP. Next up, we got Pascal Siakam. This guy needs to be traded away. Here, I'm showing this clip, but this is all you need to see to know that you need to trade this guy away. And yeah, Pascal Siakam's been playing terrible. Try trading him to a Raptors fan in your league. Maybe you could get a good value out of him. Definitely look to get Jeremy Grant, DeMar DeRozan, Brandon Ingram. These guys are great pickups, and maybe someone's willing to trade Pascal for those guys. As well, if you're in like a small league, a 4-6 player league, you guys might even be able to replace Siakam with one of these players, since Jeremy Grant only has a 93% rostered rate at the moment. By the way, any statistics I use in this video are going to be from Yahoo Fantasy Sports, and I'm going to be basing off the player projections off of the most common scoring system. Anyways, up next we got Keldon Johnson. This man is still only a 74% rostered rate. This man, I'm telling you guys, he's a stud. Pick him up. He might be available in your leagues. Well worth pickup. Also, maybe try to get him in a trade. You might be able to get some good value in for him. His value, I don't think it's peaked yet. His stock is definitely rising, but I don't think it's peaked quite yet, and definitely someone you want to look into grabbing right now. Next up, we got Thaddeus Young. Now, I'm so surprised he's only at an 8% own rate right now. He's 1000% somebody you guys want to pick up right now. In his last couple games, he's dropped like 20 plus points so many games in a row now. 4 straight games of 20 plus points. 3 out of 4 of them were near 30 or over 30. And he's an extremely low risk. Nobody's really getting him right now. Not really rostered. And he's an extremely high reward. If you do think he's a very solid long-term option as well, his value shouldn't decline too much when Carter Jr. comes back. And he should still maintain a steady 20 plus point pace throughout the season. Now, players to drop for him right now is Tyrese Maxey. If any of you guys have him, by the way, please drop him. He's not going to be producing as much as he was like those 50-40 point games a couple weeks back. Kyle Kuzma too, Daniel Theis. All 3 of these players are definitely players that I would drop for Thaddeus Young. Next up, we got Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson was kind of a breakout star in the start of the season. We weren't really expecting him, or nobody was really expecting him to really be producing the way he was. A lot of that was due to Ja Morant being injured, but now Ja Morant is back, so all of Kyle Anderson's value goes out of the window, but his stock market value, or the NBA player stock value, is still quite high. So definitely look to trade him right now, and you could get extremely good value out of him at this moment. Now, players to target to trade for Kyle Anderson would be Enes Kanter, DeAndre Hunter, PJ Washington, and Eric Gordon. All of these players is a very viable trade for him, and in the long term, I believe all those players will be producing at a higher level than Kyle Anderson. Next up, we got Larry Nance Jr. Again, similar to Kyle Anderson, maybe not to the same extent, but nobody was really expecting him to be breaking out at the start of the year as he was. His stock value is already declining right now, so definitely trade him ASAP. His value is going to decline even more. The Cavs got a bunch of centers now. His playing time is going to go down. His stats are going to go down. He's not going to be able to get all those rebounds. Now, targets for trade with Larry Nance Jr. Looking at OG Anunoby, Chris Boucher, and Keldon Johnson. Out of all those, I feel like Keldon Johnson will be your best option, but definitely look trading him right now to get the best value out of him. His value is definitely going to decline. Last but not least, we got a dark horse pickup, and this is going to be Harry Giles. He only has a 1% own rate right now, and he's going to be producing a consistent 20 fantasy points. He's going to be the backup center. He's a very sneaky pickup. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be blowing up right now. Now, players that you have that you might want to drop to get him are Josh Hart, Marc Gasol, and JJ Redick. Well, there you guys go. Those were the best trades, ads, and drops for this week in fantasy to give you guys the best chance of beating all your friends in your fantasy leagues and winning all your cash fantasy leagues. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on post notifications. I will be keeping you guys up to date with all the best fantasy news, as well as I will be giving the best daily fantasy lineups on Fanduel and Draftkings almost every day. So please subscribe and turn on notifications to keep up to date on that. And I will see you guys next time.